want to start off with a loss. Nobody does. You want to get that one win, but I think right now it's just we want the team. Obviously, we want the teams to all enjoy themselves. Most importantly, obviously, winning does come a close second or tied for first, the priority. But end of the day, we do want everyone to have fun. So as long as people are having fun, winning or losing, I think that's what truly matters at the end of the day.
No, all that matters is winning. If you lose, you're kicked
Yeah,
out of
good
the
point.
tournament. Yeah, then you can't. No fun allowed. Only have fun if you
No
win.
fun,
That's how it
no
works.
fun allowed. We only care if you win. If you're awful, then we won't care about you.
Yeah, if
No,
you're
I'm not
bad at
about
Overwatch, then go away. No,
that.
no.
Of course not. We want everyone just to play their best. Really, we want to see the best of every player, and hopefully not too long. We'll hopefully get to see the best of these two teams in here today. And do you have you seen any of these players in previous teams before? Would you say?
I've seen Chargers Blue play before. I know them like in real life. There's maybe a little bit of bias, but I know I've seen them play before. It's a mix of players that I've played with and I've seen play. So there's a few good players in there. As for Bangry Birds, I know a little bit less about them. I know Buzz of, and although I might be thinking of someone else, but I'm pretty sure he's a tank player. So I think he like might be role swapping to play with Bangry Birds over the summer or something.
Yeah.
I'm not
Like you said.
100% sure.
Yeah, maybe they might just be subbing in for a moment or just covering for some people. As you said, you think pretty certain they are actually a tank player, but being on support is a kind of a drastic change in role. I'd definitely say
Just a little bit, yeah.
it's just a little bit of change in role. I can't really relate too many tank plays to support players, but it
From
is
the
just
front of
really
the team to the
interesting
back of
see
the
how they
team.
play out. Yeah, but before we go into the game, what do you think? Have you got any ideas of what type of comps do you reckon we might see, or what would you maybe? Let me rephrase that. What would you want to see out of today? Like any
What
specific heroes?
I
Obviously,
want to see.
we did
I
say
want
we'd
to
be interested to see Shion. Yeah, we
yeah.
want to see a bit of Shion, but anyone else that you like? Because obviously we've had a few. We've obviously had a little bit of some changes since spring season, so it'd be interesting to see if anybody brings out anything else, any different meta changes. Like I said, anything else you might want to see other than Shion.
I think with a little bit of knowledge from knowing some of the people on blue, I want to see maybe like the Anran, maybe like the Genji in there or something like that. They're always quite entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Um, I always like watching I always like watching Winston and stuff like that. Kind of more divey stuff. But we are gonna get a look at the map here, what we're starting out on, and it is gonna be Lijiang Tower, picked by Chargers Blue as they are
Ooh,
the
okay.
higher seed today. Lijiang Tower, I mean, given the map
Well,
pool,
what?
I think that's expected, right? Lijiang
Yeah,
Tower.
everyone loves Lijiang Tower. It's been from kind of day one, Overwatch one. It's always been a favorite. But I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the teams on Lijiang, but we are gonna get a quick look at the bans as well. Chargers Blue going for that Zarya ban, Cassidy banned by Bangry Birds, and I like seeing these heroes removed. I think they're quite frustrating to play against, but what do you think about these bans?
I think it's good. It kind of tells you a little bit about what they wanted to play. Like if you're taking away a Zarya, you're thinking you might want to play a specific tank that's not exactly known for their frontal shielding, such as a Sigma or a Reinhardt, because obviously if you're playing that, your constant damage pressure can be a bit too much. But also when I'm looking at the cast ban from Bangry Birds, that tells me that they want to play some dive or flank, because obviously cast is kind of the ultimate opposition for any flanker, as that grenade just almost completely stops you in your tracks. So I think it does. The cast ban tells you a lot more about Bangry Birds and what they want to do than the Zarya ban currently does.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Cassidy ban kind of speaks to what might be happening. But we are going to be heading in Lijiang Night Market. Sorry for the wait, everyone. We are in though. We are here. And we're seeing maybe what we're going to be hovering. I'm looking at blue. Okay, we're waiting for players. Never mind. Okay, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
I was about to say we're gonna definitely get trolled at Junkrat. Surely, I'm not falling for this
There's
again.
no way. There's no, I know this guy doesn't play Junkrat, so
Oh, you
there's
never know. There could be a new leaf turning over
yeah,
a
he
new
turned over
page
a
in the
new leaf.
book.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. But
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, everyone loves this sub map, especially you got to be careful of those pits around the point. So it'd be interesting to see if we do see any knockback. Potentially Lucio. Obviously, we did say Lucio's come out the meta, but it's not like he's a bad pick. He's still
No,
considered like
absolutely not.
decently high on the priority team. Looking rather than being kind of the S tier pick he's been for so long, more lean towards A tier now. I'd say I wouldn't put him any lower than A, as obviously B is still insane. Speed
I agree.
boost in general is such a useful stat, and that's why Juno gets a lot of play as well. But looking at team comps, obviously both mirroring the old classic Kiriko Lucio. As much as they want to nerf it, it's still going to be one of those optimal duos. And then tanks, we've got a bit of a difference going on here with Hazard into Diva. Makes sense
Yeah.
now why they banned Zarya, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Jam clearly wanting to go onto that Diva, the DPS lane. I doubt Flash will be staying on that Smash or just teleport us. And we do get to see the Xion.
Yay, we love it. Oh, Soup's gone for the Vendetta. Not Vendetta, sorry.
Vendetta?
Sierra.
What?
I don't know
Sierra,
where.
yeah.
I don't know. Ignore me. I don't know why that's the first name that came to my head, but Sierra, that's an interesting one. I
little
can't say
bit.
I've seen that pick in like this type of play. It's more like she's a solo queue hero in my eyes.
Yeah, much more. I do like playing the Sierra myself, though. I play a good bit of Sierra. That baseline crosshair is just terrible. They actually scammed me by doing that. But opening pick by Soup onto panel pop. It can get the grappling hook in time. That's so unfortunate. The boot from Buzzoven is good, but Jam gets killed back on Funny. Onto the other side, Cool Hand, which as well gets picked on the flash. But it looks like Charges Blue are coming up on top in this fight. Not able to really do anything there. Our Bangry Bears after Panel Pod is taken down early.
Yeah, that's a really nice sequence of events. Panopod diving a little bit too deep then, kind of underestimating how much damage Chargers have at their disposal. But it was a nice little boop off the map that we saw on the sweep, but very unfortunately they couldn't quite get the grapple back off to bring themselves back to life. But
Panel Pod needs to be careful.
Who's down
Donald
again?
does get the final blow there, and I think this Hazard Panopod just going hard onto Soup on the Sierra and kind of baiting herself, just able to sustain the dive. Good care from Donnie and Finn. Looking at the else as well, Donnie's close to Kitsune very early.
Yeah, definitely. Having that Kitsune so early on, having basically double the ult percentage compared to Thorny, that's kind of dire to be honest. This dirty Xion, hold on.
Flash misses absolutely everything in there, but Cool Hamwich does go down in the meantime. I don't know how, but that's a good Kitsune rush from Donnie. Manages to sustain his tank as Jam does drop dangerously low. Soup gets the kill onto Fawny as well, and Bangry Bird's just going to have to back up as Charges Blue, 53% on the objective.
Virtue just barely getting out of their life is extremely close and getting almost a nasty staggered by Flash here, but I'm like, ooh, that's a very unfortunate pick from onto Cool Hamwich from Donnie. But you love to see that these Kiriko headshots and the burst damage can be so deadly especially for a hero like Tracer.
Yeah, I mean the amount of damage that Tracer takes versus this comp, like, can get spammed out in close range by the Sierra or the Xion or the Kiriko, but Panopod gets the pick onto Finn on the Lucio, who had the beat, and now it's trouble for Charges Blue as Bangry Bird's out of nowhere, just absolutely wipe him off the face of the earth. Panopod, absolutely massive downpour from the Bangry Bird's tanks as they flip the point. 88% on the board for Charges though, so not the end of the world for them.
No, they got a nice bit of percentage, but that was an insane Hazard ult, may I add. I'm pretty sure that hit everyone that was still alive at the time, so that was kind of nutty, but this is where you love to see Hazard give it the sheer harass. Oh, hold on. Soup does make this right decision to run away there. I think that's very sensible, as you do not want to get caught off this early into a fight.
Yeah, fighting Hazard 1v1 in a small room is torture, but that's a good dash by Flash to just get out of the way of that pulse bomb. Beat drop by Finn just to try weather the storm, but the bear beat is there for Buzzoven, and now Bangry Birds have a lot of tools at their disposal, and they might not even need to use them. They do commit the override protocol from Virtue. Soup has gone down to the spikes from Panopod as Cool Hand, which gets picked onto Donnie with that melee. Fawny gets killed onto Jam as well, and the override protocol doesn't even need to do too much. The rest of the team just cleans up shop, and is this a stagger onto Finn? This is so sad.
Wait, hold on. Finn made a good attempt, but yeah, Bangry Birds did have to use a lot of their resources for that fight, using pretty much every ultimate they had at their disposal. So Chargers have such a massive advantage with Kitsune Rush coming online very shortly, having both DPS and the tank ult. So Diva's got that extra lifeline in the back pocket, and we've got an insane amount of damage output, especially and spacing coming out from Sierra and Xion here.
Absolutely, yeah, but right now Charges Blue, I think they're just waiting for the amp from Finn. They do go cliffside here. Cool Hand, which needs to get out of dodge, tries to escape. Jam with the rockets does manage to pick him off though. Panopod has rotated over, but like you said, there's those 3 ults for Charges Blue. Look how close Donnie is to the Kitsune. Might not even need to drop it. Puts a kunai through Buzzoven's skull as he gets another onto Panopod as well. That's 2 for Donnie this fight. And Bangry Birds, I don't think they're even going to get anything done Victory Satsuriku spree from Flash. His first objective goes to Chargers Blue.
Yeah, and I don't think there was no hope in them possibly contesting there, as they had captured the point before the fight had actually started, so they were gaining percentage as that fight was happening. So realistically, I think that was just a fair sub-map going over the Chargers, and really well played. They didn't even need to use all their ults, and we did see obviously Flash popping the ult right at the end there to try and finish someone off, but it doesn't quite find it out, and this is where the problem with Xion coming is that you have zero control over the ults distance. Obviously, when you do the dash one, it goes a set distance no matter what. So you really have to think about your position in comparison to where you're going to end up. And is it going to put you in a bad position? Are you going to miss? Or are you actually going to find value with the burst damage afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. But we are going to see the Xion mirrored on the other side from Kulhamwich. Imagine Flash, yep, does go back to that Xion. No changes either side aside from that Xion, though.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
I love watching the bike.
Oh, Finn maybe tries to go for the boop off the map. They're not going to be able to do much. The tracking dart is landed onto Panopod. Good. Suzu and Matrix try and get that Sierra out of dodge, but it's not going to be enough. The spike guard is just too strong, and Charge Blue, they're down 2, down 3. And that's going to be an early fight win for Bangry Birds.
Yeah, very fast fight when we saw Cole Hamwich kind of pop off there on the Xion a little bit. And I will say, probably one of my favorite parts about this game is just simply watching the bikes fly across the screen. Right there, just a bike coming out of left field. It's so funny, but it's also so satisfying if you do hit a direct hit with it. But it's such a stupid ult, and that's why I love it so much. Well, not an ult, sorry, a stupid ability. It's just, I want more heroes that do stupid stuff like this, like that. Throwing a bike across the screen, like,
you go back to 2016 and show that, yeah.
Yeah, show that to an show that. Oh, nice grenade.
Good grenade, Bombster managed to pick off Fawn. He finds our second in this fight as well. Panopod falls down as we do manage to get Charges Blue to capture the objective there. Buzz on just as a quick reset. Flash gets the execution kill. As Charges Blue flip the point there.
Yeah, people really underestimate the amount of damage Sierra's grenade actually does if it hits you directly with like the area effect. It does so much. It does about solid half. So it's about half the health of the average squishy. So it does an absurd amount, and you're gonna struggle to deal with that damage if you get followed up onto.
Oh,
beautiful headshot.
Brilliant from Donny there. I don't think this will even be a fight. Bangry Birds, they know they just have to take it slow. Finn though, nice pick from Kulhamwich. Does pick off the main support for Charges Blue. Needs to be careful now due to the charges, but Kulhamwich maybe in a spot of bother. Bike does go a bit wayward there. So just trying to lay down whatever pressure she can on this Sierra, but Jam's caught out of position now. Good punish by Panopod right there. Panopod in a spot of bother himself though, but Buzzon does manage to clean up that Sierra, and now Bangry Birds looking to just get recontrol at this point, and Charge Blue to get the opening pick, but on the other side, Bangry Birds, even though they're down 1, are able to return the favor.
Yeah, we just saw a perfect example with Cool Hand, which said the sheer damage that the execution does, especially on the high health targets when you can hit every single bullet, and with that extra perk with the 20% extra damage is insane. As we saw Diva's health disappear, Jam went from 50% to 0 and got demoked straight away, but it's going to be interesting to see how they play this next fight, especially with Bangry, but with all the ults coming online very shortly, aside from Finn, who's quite a little bit percent down in comparison to Buzz Oven.
Starts off with the Kitsune though, Chargers Blue, but that's a brilliant violent leap from the Hadges as he takes down the Sierra. Donny manages to swift step away in the nick of time. This bomb from Jam does manage to get him back in the med, but Chargers Blue are still down 1. They need to look for a pick, and it needs to kind of happen now. But the Satsuriku spree from Kulhamwich and the beat from Buzzoven might make that impossible, and the beat lands, but it's too late for Flash to really receive anything, or the mech of Jam, and that is horrible for Chargers Blue.
That was such an unfortunate turn of events. And the thing is though, we did see Bangry Birds did use a lot more of their resources, well, I say a lot more, just one extra of their resources, popping both support ults and the tank ult, and then Cool Hamwich were there right towards the end. Whereas Chargers do still have both Sierra and Xion ult online. We do see Virtual pop a very early ult.
Yep, early override protocol there. The Trailblazer does go down, but doesn't manage to find anything from that ult. It's just so hard to get kills with. But Flash on the other side finds 3 with the Satsuriku spree, but it's not going to be enough as Bangry Birds brings the 1-1 on Lijiang Tower.
That was a very close showing coming out from Flash, and I will say, right then and there, that is kind of how you want to use it. You don't want to start fights with Xion, you don't want to finish fights. You want to use it in the middle of a fight where there's that much chaos. It's similar to so many other DPS where you thrive off the more chaos is going on because you're less likely to be focused down if you're in the center of point of a fight. And
Mm,
obviously Flash managed to pick off 3 because there was so much going on. Nobody could react to just them. They had to be conscious of the rest of the chargers. So while obviously they didn't quite win the fight, it was a good showing of what Xion can truly do in a team comp.
absolutely, yeah. But Bangry Birds do get that point. And the swap from Kulhan, which was the only change made. So do you think that was impactful in Bangry Birds getting that point?
Yeah, honestly, them getting them and bring us to the sub map 3 is showing how even these teams truly are. As either team can easily take any fight as long as they play their cards right.
Absolutely. But Panapod looking for an early engage, not able to find too much. Jam does force them back just a little bit. Both teams just going to sit in comfortable sit main at the moment, but Flash, oh my god, shuts me up, gets the kill onto Cool Hamwich, and that Xion 1v1 influenced the entire fight. Flash gets 2, and Bangry Birds just have to retreat. Oh,
Hold on, Flash
made
takes
that
one.
3.
Looking for anyone else? Are we done? Trying to throw a cheeky
yeah,
buck.
there we
Okay, I
go.
think, yeah, they're done. They've taken the point. Chargers get a nice early capture. And I think that is going to be so crucial for them to snowball. Obviously, everyone knows control point. It's a very snowboardy game. And if you can get that first capture, you are kind of more likely because you force the team to play into your own hands. Especially against the team from Chargers are holding. They want you to go for them rather than going for you instead. But my word.
Yeah, Bangry Birds just bite back, get the kill onto Finn super early, but they're not flipped the point just yet as Donnie managed to find a pick into the Virtue. And Charges Blue, I don't think they're out of this fight just for the moment. Donnie has to get Sunny Rush, decides not to let it rip though. Cool Hamwish gets the kill onto that Kiriko. Flash steals the Mega away from his tank. No much healing for Jam right there, but Bangry Birds do recap the first objective.
Yeah, it's nice for them to get themselves a bit of percentage early on, but Panapod's sheer aggression is really putting Chargers on their toes. As we do see the sheer damage from Hazard.
Outrageous damage from Panapod right
Yes.
there. The Kusune rush from Donnie really isn't near his team, unfortunately, for the Chargers Blue. Bonnie does go for that. Oh my god, the Kusune rush is there. Flash does get 2 with the spree. Donnie managed to find one as well, and it's just going to be Panapod and Cool Hamwich alive for the time being. On this spike, trying to stall the point. Jam's having none of it. Nukes that Xion out of the air alongside the help with the Sierras. Chargers Blue flip back that point.
And Flash once again showed us exactly how you should use Xion, use it in the middle of the chaos. While they were so busy looking at Jam and looking at the rest of the Chargers, this instantly went in there, picked off 2 in an instant, did trade their life for it, but that was the opening picks that they needed to, well, basically guarantee them the fight win.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, looking at the ults, Buzz Oven does have that sound barrier, and Finn is, well, to put it bluntly, nowhere near it. And I think Chargers Blue might feel the pain of that now as the beat is dropped and Soup is about to drop shortly after. Buzz Oven hunting her down, but the tracking dart lands incredible from Soup right there. Keeps her alive as well as Donnie with the healing as well. Finn does go down to Panapon in the meantime, and Soup eventually is taken down by the Override Protocol. Bangriver still need to flip the point though. Swift step from Donnie does manage to keep him alive for the time being. Flash gets a kill with the Joyride, but not going to be able to do too much more. Almost one shot. Cool Hamwich right there, but Bangry Birds do manage to take that point back.
Yeah, fighting back is just like one taking away Diva's ult as well. They no longer have that survivability is so huge, especially with Core Hamwich now having the ult advantage onto Flash. There's not going to be much to do against it, but it all depends on how much value can Soup get with the Sierra ult. It's once again one of the chaotic ults, but they don't find anything.
Nope, commits it
Here we
early,
go.
tries to go for it, but Cool Hamwich, oh my god, Cool Hamwich finds 4, goodness me. That's how you do it, that's how you play Xion.
Exactly.
4k for the Xion, maybe make it 5, there's a stagger onto this Diva, oh my goodness. This is he gonna wall? Wow, okay, fair enough, he's gonna let him get off the map. I would have walled him there, to be honest, if I was Panapod, but
Yeah, same,
that's
like,
still a
that's
gross
a
stagger.
huge stagger. Yeah, that could have been even better stagger. Putting them against the wall and going for the kill, like, that's an extra, like, 15-20 seconds, and they could have got that, like, to overtime before they respawn. But hey ho, it's still worth it. But Pano is so close to the downpour, and that is basically a team fight winning. Oh, if they can just bait out the cleanse from Donnie, there's going to be no way of actually counteracting it, as Finn does not have the beat yet.
Drops it to continue though, but that's an early pick from Panapod, and that's going to land onto Finn. That's 2 for the side of Bangry Birds, 2 from Panapod. Flash needs to be careful. The Joyride picks up a kill onto Donnie. Flash does get a kill onto his opposite number though, but Jam is demet in the meantime. And it's just pretty much Flash left alive for Charges Blue at the moment as Panapod picks up 3 this fight, and map 1 goes to Bangry Birds.
Oh, okay. What we saw there is exactly a perfect execution of why Hazard has been such a fail. Obviously, we know Fat hasn't had some changes at the start of the season. Is people consider it a slightly weaker version with the perks swapping around. But this is playing it, your cards right works so perfectly, as we saw, jumping the Sierra, focusing on them down, exactly what you wanted. But oh, this ult from Cool Hand Wedge, oh, that was beautiful. And that's
So much
that.
damage.
Yeah, like we saw, instant burst down. If you can get in there uncontested, like I've said a few times now, it's so free to get so many opening picks.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to get it. Once, yeah, it's like you say, once that fight is actually started, it's
You
quite
just go
easy to just
for it.
make things happen. Yeah. It's
It's
kind of like
good.
Reaper Ult in that sense, though.
Yeah, Reaper, Genji, Cass, so many DPS ults all thrive off the fact if you go in for it in the middle of a fight where you are less likely to be soloed out and pointed out and becoming the main focus of the encounter. So if you're, for example, if the tanks are brawling, the support is too focused on trying to keep said tank alive, you could easily go for an ult and possibly pick someone off, or even less, divert attention. And simply taking attention away from one other player can literally change the course of a fight just like instantly.
Absolutely, yeah. And we see the lower seed in this game. Bangry Birds do get that first map in there. So well played to them. 1-0 Bangry Birds at the moment, but it will be Chargers Blues map pick and ban to start off with. But if you were them, where would you be going?
Now, realistically, it all kind of depends on where their strengths lie. As we've seen, they love going in. They love having control over the fights, and what I've kind of started to gather. Obviously, we've seen Jam loves to go in, goes very aggressive. Same with Flash. They're a very aggressive team, so maybe look for potential things. Maybe Persh's potential because you love aggression on Persh, along with. It's hard to put. It's hard to really say because by this point, obviously, we've only seen one single map from Chargers, so we can't exactly pinpoint their exact mindset. We don't know their favorite maps. We can't exactly guess exactly where they want to go. But where would you want to go in this situation? Would you say?
Well, I think if you look what each team's playing, the Diva from Chargers Blue and the Hazard from Bangry Birds, that was kind of like the key difference, I suppose. But
Yeah.
maybe a more Diva-oriented map. Maybe go for like the Numbani, but I don't think Numbani's actually in the map pool, right?
Yeah, going for a bit of a. No, I don't believe Nubani is in the map pool, but it would still be interesting. Like, evidently, I think Jam does thrive off of just playing Diva. Evidently, I think they banned Zarya solely for the Diva pick. So definitely going, like what you said, going off of the whole playstyle Diva, controlling high ground, taking people off of high ground. You definitely want to try and look for a map more oriented with that rather than the very flat surface ground, which is kind of what Lijiang is, and that's why Hazard thrived so much more towards the end of that map series.
Yeah, when it got a bit brawlier,
Yeah.
particularly on that control center, it felt really, really hard for anyone to really do anything versus that Hazard, right? Especially with the Shion damage coming in as well. It was so difficult for the Squishies to walk forward. I mean, we saw the amount of pressure that was put onto the Sierra, onto the Lucio. It was so hard to walk up for Chargers Blue right there. So maybe a longer range map. Maybe go for like, is Esperanza in the map pool? It probably is, right? Everyone loves
So
Esperanza.
I'm currently looking at the map pool here. So if we're looking, depending on what game we're looking at, Push, we've got Colosseo, Runasapi. Escort is Rialto, Dorado, and Watchpoint Gibraltar. Flashpoint, Suravasa, and Atlas. And Hybrid is Iconworld, Neon Junction, and Kings Row. So those are our potential options here. And if we're thinking more around the whole comp being surrounded by the Diva, depending on the game mode, obviously, Gibraltar and Dorado they're huge Diva maps, obviously because they've got high ground throughout the entire time. In terms of push, they're both semi-flattish, but maybe looking more, in my eyes, Colosseo, because you'd have control over the bridge and the high ground moving up towards the end of the map. But same goes to Flashpoint. Both maps are relatively low, but Hybrid, on the other hand, that's when it gets a bit interesting. You've got like Iconworld, Neon Junction, Kings Row, and obviously Neon Junction being the brand new map. It'd be interesting to see if people do pick it, as no one's going to have a full sense of how to play that map correctly yet.
Yeah, it is quite a straightforward map, though. I was seeing some discussion about it earlier in the USS Discord server. It's kind of just straight line map, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very straight line.
Like, it feels very straightforward to play. I played it just the once, like sometime last week, and it felt quite straightforward, to be honest.
It is. With, with it would be interesting to see. I look forward to seeing one day when people decide to pick it. And asking you shall
Today
receive,
is
I
that day,
suppose. There we
yeah.
go. Today is the day, first day of USS. We get to see the new map and the new heroes already, is lovely. But the thing is, I've come to my personal conclusion of Neon Junction. It feels very attacker heavy until the final checkpoint. As well, it kind of goes off of most escorts and escorts hybrids, where the final point is the hardest to attack, whereas the rest
Yeah.
can feel very attacker sided itself, and that's kind of the story that Neon Junction tends to follow, in my personal experience at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It does kind of feel that way because I mean, you look at the other hybrid maps, right? Like Kings Row, for example, that final point, impossible
It's so
at times.
yeah,
Um, Iconwald's maybe the
Iconwald,
exception. Iconwald's maybe the
yeah.
exception. Just the second point is like the sticky wicket for a lot of teams
There's
on that
too
map.
much high ground that you can't contest
Yeah.
everywhere at once. If there's place split, it's too good. Whereas Neon Junction, because it's such a straightforward, there's no real high ground control on the second point after you've got the actual point control. But then when you get to the third point, you've got the really tight rooms, the really sharp corners, and when you get to that very final bit of the push, you've got the high ground out of spawn. There's multiple high ground spots for either hit scan or in general bunker comps as well. There's so many potential options to go for, and that's where defense truly shines. And I've seen many games gone from very steamrolly at the start, whereas attackers get all the way through the second checkpoint and they get full held in 5 minutes on that final point, and it's so difficult to attack, and there's no real good angles to get from them with flankers as well.
It just feels like you're banging your head against the wall. Sometimes
Yeah,
that's the best way to describe it. Like
yeah,
there's
it does.
no solution. It
Still
feels
love the map
sometimes.
though. I still love the map. I
Iconwald?
think it's a
Oh,
Iconwald.
nah. That map sucks. I hate that map.
Yeah, I think I got a
What
little
map are you
bit.
talking
I
about?
well, partially Neon Junction, but both things kind of a supply really, because both final points there's very little to go with it. But I know in terms of lore-wise, I love Iconwald just because of the whole story with the cinematic.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
That's sick. But the map itself,
Yeah.
I despise. I generally want a little bit of me dies inside when it gets picked in my comp games. But Neon, no, I think for a new map, I think it's kind of spot on. It's in terms of especially design as well. I think it's really nice. They're finally opening up to the story of what's been kind of clues with the Shimada clan and whatnot for the longest time. But also, it's just a nice looking map.
Yeah, it's a decent map, but we are going to be
Yeah.
getting to see what we're going to be banning for at the moment. If we do see just now, yeah, we do, and it is going to be the
Okay.
hazard ban from Charges Blue and the Shigon ban from Bangry Bird. So, what do you think about this?
Alright, so obviously, Chargers are taking away the hazard because clearly it was a problem. We did see that hazard was basically running the lobby after that's by second point, and even on the first one they were still doing pretty well. And I feel that the Shion ban, it's a safety ban, whereas you don't want them to play it but at the same time you're sacrificing your own team playing it, so it's kind of a double-edged sword ban in my eyes. So I don't think it's the end of the world, but it could be a lot worse of a ban in reality. So it's sensible in my mind.
Yeah, it's a sensible ban. I think Flash was doing quite a lot on the Shield. I'm not saying that Bangry Birds
Yeah.
were not, but it really comes down
Flash
to
felt a bit more
what the
dominant.
flexibility will look like.
Yeah, definitely. It does come down to flexibility, 100%.
Absolutely, but we are going to be heading into the game in just 1 second, just for waiting for a couple players to finish waiting, so we don't get a troll on the comps like last time. But we are
Yeah.
going to be heading in just now. On to Neon Junction. It is going to be Bangry Birds attacking first, and hopefully we get some interesting comments with Shion and Hazard both banned this time. Panapod, Coolham, Witch, and Flash are all going to have to flex their hero pool, maybe just a little bit more than they had to.
Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more like shieldy types of tanks, because Sigma and Ramatra I feel are very strong on this map, especially just they're able to hold down those chokes. And there we go, Jam is taking Sigma on defense, which I think is sensible. There is the Genji that you brought up at the start, wanting to see a bit of cheeky flanker action, but well then again, both teams have got a Genji, but Bangry Birds have gone for a May Reinhardt.
Yeah, I mean that's
Play this map, by the way.
Oh dear. Well, I don't know how many of Chargers
Ooh.
Blue have played this map. They've honestly probably just picked it because it's it's the new map. Hello Buzz Oven, hello Fonny. Hello Jam. Everyone in the match chat is saying hello. But these comps, I do like the signal.
Yeah, I think Sigma thrives off these heavy, the first choke point, and if you can hold them there, it's great. But the second they get through, it's gonna be a bit harder to work with, as they're already through the first choke.
Yeah, holding very far back are Chargers Blue at the moment. Rock goes a little bit wayward, and now the Mizuki and Genji are under a little bit of pressure. As Donnie's first to fall to that fire strike, Virtue gets to pick odds of Finn as well, and doors wide open for Bangry Birds at the moment. Soup is taken down as well. It's just gonna be a jam as Bangry Birds barrage their way onto the first objective.
And this is kind of where my whole thought process of it being such an attacker side of the map is. Once the attackers are through that first choke on the first point, oh dear, Soup. Please don't tell me we died to the train. Please don't tell me we just got taken out by a train. Oh no.
It happens to the best of us. Low key, when I first played this map, I did the exact same thing. I'm not even trolling.
No, same. I did get run over by the train as well. I'm sure everybody.
Oh, well, Panapod, you better be careful. Train's on its way.
I know.
Panapod, hello, the train. Oh my goodness. Oh, that we need to get like observers, please. We need to get like a POV. Whenever someone's on that bridge, we need their POV just in case they get hit by the train. It needs to happen.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It'll be so good. We do see the Baptiste swap from Donnie though.
Yeah, I think because basically Mizuki cannot do much into a Reinhardt. Reinhardt, especially in the high level pro where Mizuki started to become a bit of a meta, especially to the Diva meta that's been so prominent for so long. Reinhardt has become that countermeasure to it, as Mizuki can't do anything against your shield.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's a couple opening picks from Bangry Birds right there as they continue their push. The pin does go a little bit wayward, but Finn is in a spot of bother, needs to get out. Coolham, which does go for the dash forward, doesn't manage to get the kill. Does manage to deflect the hyperspheres though. Not any damage or not any kills there, unfortunately, for the Genji, but Fuel's coming up online for Bangry Birds very, very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Ults are getting ready, and as they're getting so close to that second checkpoint, I think Chargers need to start making their move now, as they don't want to give much more steps. And there we go. There goes one ult coming up.
Oh, this blade. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, what a rock. Good rock from Jam, but it's too little too late. I think the window was just used so aggressively, and then the blade was there, and there's no defensible available. The flux wasn't connected. The beat wasn't built. As Bangry Birds, they go into this final objective with 5 minutes 40 left on the clock.
Now, it's that corner there where Rhino is walking up to now. That is that's the worst choke to push, and it's so difficult to get through it. And especially against Sigma, if Chargers can hold them there, even just shave off a few minutes, the game will look a lot less. Well,
where's his healing?
Yeah, where's Jam?
Absolutely explodes
on their own.
Where's the hell? The Jam absolutely implodes. Super's made the swap over to the Soldier, and I don't mind that versus the Reinhardt. As someone who's played a bit of Sierra myself, I hate playing against Reinhardt, to be honest. Yeah, but 100%. Chargers Blue.
Where was the mortality field? We have about T's. Surely Immo should have gone down for Jam there.
Oh, wait, the Shard, it does connect, but it doesn't actually do anything because he died in the process. Donnie maybe redeemed himself a bit, finds a second kill onto Coolham, which Virtue trying to turn the tide, but the lamp is there this time. Flash dashes up, trying to take down Virtue. Is finally Chargers Blue show signs of life and get on the board on this map.
And this is exactly where I'm kind of leading to, that now they've got control over the checkpoint, not checkpoint, the choke point. There's a bit more. Oh, hold on. The cheeky Genji 1v1.
Honorable Samurai.
Yeah, honorable. Oh, who's gonna win? Who's better? Oh, okay. I think Flash won that. Oh, hold on. Back for revenge.
Yeah, but this 1v1's lasting ages later. There's a lot of vendetta against them. But the beat is there from Buzzov, engaging Coolham, which eventually gets the better of Flash. And now there's no build time for Chargers Blue. Donnie needs to make something happen with this window on the off angle. The beat was dropped by Finn, I believe, in that fight. So was Buzzov, and Fonny makes the right decision not to drop the Kitsune as Bangry Birds just kite out of the way and they go back in with the Kitsune. Pick onto Soup, but Panapod's in a spot of bother. Maybe goes a little bit too aggressive. As Flash rips the blade, and that's 2 for the Genji, 3 for the Genji. As Jam gets killed with an Nemesis Form and wraps up that fight, and slowly but surely, Chargers Blue are taking down that clock.
Exactly, and this is what I'm talking about. Having control over this choke point, and you're starting to see now why it's so difficult to attack, because we can see Donnie's got control over the high ground, and there's very, very little way to contest it without going really far out of your way. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and they've already got 2 minutes off the clock. I think at least get another minute, and I'd say you're in a very good position going into your attacking round.
You can be proud of that, yeah. You can be
Yes.
proud of that hold, given they had literally 6 minutes to attack
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
But Jam has built the Annihilation. Finn close on the beat, but he's not going to get the opportunity to build it. Donnie under pressure is taking down my cool hand, which is quite low though. So goes down to the blade as well. And that's a team kill for Bangry Birds. I don't think there's going to be a touch from Charges Blue.
Maybe Finn could get in there, because if Finn can literally hold for a slight moment, get the beat
Like
off.
a millisecond. Oh my god, insta kill onto Flash. The shower from Spawn as well. Jam looks to make it the lamp onto the car from Donnie. Does manage to be tagging the game as Jam needs to be the hero right now. Managed to fight 3, but it's not going to be enough. Donnie's just left on the point, but the battle rifle from Emery's better than the battle rifle from Donnie. That is a 2-minute 37 time bank for Bangry Birds. And look how close they are to ults for Charges Blue. It's so unfortunate. That shower from Panopod's just absolutely incredible.
Taking out the DPS before they can even leave spawn, that was crucial, and I think that's a really good, valuable shatter there. But then again, they did get so much time off of Bangry Birds. What, almost 6 minutes down to 2 minutes 30. I think that's a decent enough defense to where if you can try and match it, you're in a really good spot going into the next future rounds. In overtime, I should say, if you get there.
Absolutely. Not too much time. Not too much time it took for Bangry Birds to get that though. Like 2 minutes 37 is still very good objectively. Well, I'm still happy from Bangry Birds. Like even though it was 3.5 minutes to hold that, it's still acceptable. But Charges Blue do show some kind of signs of life on that final point. As the I got confused there. The names are switched just for anyone's confusion. But Charges Blue, they are going to be going for the Bastion now this time. Wu Yang Ana, lots of damage on the side of Angry Birds. But what do you think about the comps for both teams?
I will say the Bastion's interesting. Okay, for things, normally a Bastion tends to have kind of a pocket pick. Obviously, we know the Cat Bastion has been a menace for a while now, but it's kind of losing its play as obviously Cat's been receiving nerfs after nerfs. But it's looking interesting. I think obviously Flash is a bit of a we've seen is now a monster on the Genji, and as you stated, so I like the team comp. I think they work good. Instant.
The fast rotation from Bangry Birds right there just catches Charges Blue off guard, but Flash is trying to even the score. Gets the kill onto Cool Hand, which just Finn gets to pick onto Buzzwoman as well. As Virtue drops 1 HP, it's Flash. What? From where? He just picks 2 from absolutely nothing. As he evens the score in Jam, maybe going to try to get the kill onto Fawny as well. Pandapod beating that teleport anchor for his Kiriko, but she's still in a spot of bother at the moment. Jam needs to land those punches, and he does. And almost as quick as Bangry Bird's got it done, Charges Blue look to be solid on the first point.
Yeah, honestly, they went straight in for it, and this is exactly what you have to see. This is kind of how you play the map. You just have to rush them down, and if you let them poke you down in that first choke, you're not getting through. It's like Icon World, it's like King's Row, it's like any hybrid. That first choke is always one of the worst bits to get through, but once you get through it, you tend to be quite smooth sailing up until a certain point. And depending on how Jam especially plays this on their attack, I think they could either steamroll once again or maybe get held. So we have to see where they go. But Flash, nice opening pick.
Helpful start from your flex DPS, as that's a good sleep from Finn, as turret mode is engaged for Soup. Maybe even being overkill from Panopod. Guys, the cart. Hello, at Charges Blue.
Guys, payload.
Oh,
thank you.
I think they've realised. Yeah, they have realised that Soup has realised they've gone back to the payload there. It's unfortunate though, not pushing the cart that entire time.
Yeah. The amount of lost space they could have had that by under the bridge by now. Oh, probably past the bridge by this point. But they left it the entire time. That's a lot of time lost. But hey, not many of them have played this map, as somebody stated, so maybe they're just not used to having to instantly get on the payload like some other hybrids.
Yeah, a lot of hybrids just like auto move the cart out a little bit, but
out of the block. Yeah, not like this. So
yeah,
that's unfortunate. But he did get a nice position. But Virtue popping off a bit.
Yeah, Virtue finds 2, and the Tidal Blast is used by Donnie, but it's when Jam and Donnie are both fall, and it doesn't actually accomplish anything for Chargers Blue right there was Bangry Birds, just clean house.
Yeah, really swift win, and obviously Gorhamage did pop the Blizzard, so a nice opening
Oh,
ult
yeah.
to try and create space and get a nice pick. But obviously, that unfortunate tidal from Donny, bit of a waste in my opinion.
I agree, but the Kitsune is used by Fawny. Nemesis form popped for Jam as well. The nano boost isn't committed from Finn, as it looks like Bangry Birds are just going to be able to wrap up this fight quite confidently. That Kitsune Rush and that Shatter just doing too much, but Chargers Blue, they do have a respectable ult bang going into this fight.
Yeah, I feel like forcing Bangry Birds to pop all their ults is better value than trying to mirror the ult usage and still losing the fight.
Absolutely. But Chargers Blue have that Nano Blade combo. Very, very potent option if they decide to go for it.
They do.
Beat on the other side for
Yeah.
Buzzoven though could be a problem, as Jam and Panapod just poking it the front line right now, but Jam needs to be careful. He doesn't line of sight his supports too much. Can't get a line of sight of that on. A nice nade from Finn, but he's flew a little bit too close to the sun. So low HP. Beat dropped by Buzzin. Blade is popped by Flash, but I don't know if it's accomplishing too much right now. Ultimate slot fest at the moment. Only one kill for that Blade, as Bangry Birds look to be stabilizing.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate sequence of events. There's nothing of worse feeling of going in for we want to get a huge ult, you want to get a massive blade, and then just finding nothing towards the end. It doesn't feel great when that happens. It's a bit demoralizing, but then again, it was only one ult. Chargers still have plenty of utility at their hands.
Yeah, didn't use the nano, which I think is a little bit interesting, but now Bangry Birds have their ults back, that Blizzard is back, that Override Protocol is still there. And that's going to be menacing. Panapod's built the Shatter again, and there's not much for it, as that's a 3-man Shatter. The Tidal Blast is used. I don't even know onto who, onto Jam I think that was, but the Blizzard from Cool Hamwich does just manage to shut them down. And that's an easy fight for Bangry Birds.
And this is kind of what I've been leading on to, where I've been talking about this map, how if you're able to get a nice snowball going, you can easily steamroll all the way to the third checkpoint into that final choke, as we saw, where Bangry Birds got held for a little while. But if you can get stopped, it can be really hard to get get the cart moving again, as we're starting to see Chargers are struggling to get through the bridge choke, and it might be a case of where they need to stop going for a frontal assault and go for maybe a cheeky flank or a rotate.
Go through the trade, try not to get hit by it. But the
Yes.
Nano Annihilation is committed. Fawny does go for that Kitsune Rush, but Jam's just absolutely pummeling them to pieces right now. Virtue in the backline tries to get something done, does get the pick onto Finn, but Jam's found 3 in the front line, and Bangry Birds have that hole broken as Virtue's the last man standing, not for long. Donny wraps that up on the Lucio. 1 minute left on the clock for Chargers Blue. They do have the artillery strike, but it's still, the time is running out.
Yeah, it one certainly is. As only 40 odd seconds left. Obviously, if they can get to the checkpoint, the game is a little bit more in their favor, but obviously they're going to get contested. So it all depends on who wins this next fight, can really decide the game.
Buzzoven does have the beat coming up relatively soon, as the pin onto Jam with the Maywell. That is absolutely devastating, as Sook tries to go for the artillery strike, needs to turn the tide here, but doesn't manage to find anything with it. It's such a hard ult to actually get any kills with.
C9. They get the C9 and
Wait, C9, wait, who's C9? Oh my goodness, what?
Someone C9. Somebody on Chargers went behind and took it, and if I'm gonna say I think it might have been Donny.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
Donny must have got a C9, and that is so clutch. That could possibly bring them back into this game, as that fight was looking very dire for them.
That fight would have needed a bit of like fairy dust from Chargers Blue there to make it winnable, but they still need a little bit of fairy dust after all, because Panapod does get that pick onto Jam, and the clock is still running down, and Bangry Birds aren't going to even need to use any ults this fight, and there's really only time for one more fight. The whole weight of the team is on Flash's shoulders at the moment in this next coming fight with the Nano Blade.
Yeah, 100%. The Nano Blade, they've got to bear in mind, Buzzoven does have the beat, but then again, like we've been discussing, beat is a lot weaker, so I could still see Flash or the Nano Blade still getting a pick or two out of it, depending on who they focus down.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Nano Blade, it does ridiculous amount of damage, but I like this spot from Cool Hamwich at the moment. Waiting in the wings, and the Blizzard does pop out from around the corner. First pick onto Soup, second onto Finn, third onto Donny. Is the beat, does it even land? I don't even know, and there isn't even a Nano Blade option. Maybe just saving the Nano Blade there, because there will just be time for one more fight.
Honestly, I definitely feel saving the Nano Blade is what they should be doing. Well, in my mind, I can't see a world where it's not getting any value, but at the same time, Bangry do have a lot of countermeasure to it. We do have the Override Pro coming online, so is Kitsune Rush. There is options.
Oh, Ajax! It's an Ajax from Button! He's absolutely massive from flashes! He keeps the Drews alive for Charges Blue at the moment. No Nano Blade, or no Nano even needed. Is Charges Blue, there's 0 seconds for them at the moment. Headshot by Finn manages to wrap up that fight, but Bangry Birds have the override protocol, so it's not all over yet. But Jam needs to get back to the point. Bangry Birds know that the tank isn't there for Charges Blue. Might just need to nano someone, Finn, before you go down and put the nano onto the tank. Urgent, there we go. Nano is there for Jam. Has the annihilation, but his whole team's died. He's went off on a side quest. He's looking for any kills and doesn't manage to find anything. Managed to find one eventually. Backline down for Bangry Birds, but it's just him on the point right now. There's not going to be enough as Bangry Birds win out New Junction and win out the series 2-0 in this first match of USS Summer.
It was a very valiant effort as it was looking so close, but unfortunately, the fact Jam just wasn't there to start the fight, it just allowed them to run down the supports, run down everyone, and while they did barely get the nano annihilation off, it just wasn't quite enough. But this blade from Flash was just giving us, it was clip farming this entire series, both on Shion and Genji.
Yeah, he was just trying to aura farm that entire map. I mean, didn't even need the nano blade for that. That was incredible. Like, the fact that he managed to Ajax.
I don't believe Nano Blade happened once, so. But then again, a bit of an unfortunate turn of events. But weirdly, the games were decently close. Neither was a stomp. Obviously, I do think Bangor did go in and looking a bit stronger overall, but wasn't horrendously outmatched.
Absolutely not. I mean, first round on Lijiang did go to the Chargers Blue.
Very convincingly, and Chargers did have a nice hold on the end of Neon Junction. Just a little bit of a stronger hold coming out from Angry Birds, and I think that's what made the difference. But end of the day, both teams played really well. One's now got Angry Birds have got their first win under their belts. I'm sure they're feeling good, and obviously there's time to change things. There's time to adapt for Chargers.
Yeah, and there is time for them to adapt. 2 games tonight, and this is only week 1. Like we said, it doesn't really matter if you lose your very first game. Doesn't really matter. It's not the end of the world. First game. Yeah, it's not the end of the world at all. Still plenty of Overwatch left to play. But for the time being, we are going to go to a quick break. But don't go anywhere. You may be getting a spoiler on what the next match might be down below. But we will be back very soon. See you soon.